Hey, this is John Douglas on tour with Aerosmith, talking with Jeremy White about all things rock and roll and drums and Aerosmith and Van Halen and all the cool stuff. Thanks, Jeremy.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Our next guest is the drummer for the group that is four-time Grammy Award winning, 150 million records, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. They're bringing their Peace Out farewell tour to Montreal's Bell Centre on January 26th, I believe. Tickets are on sale at venco.ca. It was supposed to be the final date of the farewell tour, but unfortunately they had to reschedule some shows, so it's no longer the final show, and I'm a little upset about it because I was supposed to go to the final show. Anyways, welcome to the show for the first time, the one, the only, Aerosmith drummer, John Douglas. How's it going?
Hey, Jeremy.
Is it weird? Is it weird to hear that, the drummer for Aerosmith?
I mean, to be fair and technical, Joey Kramer is still the drummer for Aerosmith, was and always has been. I'm my official title would be a touring drummer for Aerosmith. So that's I want to make that clear because it's important to recognize.
Right. Contrary to popular belief, he's still in the band.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So what's the reason behind it? I mean, like, is it a health thing? Is it personal issues? Like, what made you have to step in and grab the sticks?
Originally, he got injured the night before a show in Vegas. This was back in 2019. So that's what started it, and then he had some his wife Linda passed away suddenly and tragically last year, and so there's just there's no way decision that he had to make, and it wasn't easy. So yeah,
completely understandable.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, being the drum tech, and then all of a sudden you get the call, I'm not going in. You're up, kid. Like, were you completely thrown for a loop? Like, what goes through your mind? Like, did you even know the set? Like,
no. I mean, that's never. Even though that's happened to me in the past, I did it with ZZ Top. I've done it with Slash, where I've jumped in on day of show, and it's still when I never enter into a job like that thinking that that's going to happen. So I don't purposely learn the show or anything. Now, the nature of the gig is you're sitting back observing, and I am a drummer first. And so it's just kind of by osmosis that I learn the show without really intending on learning the show. But it's a totally different animal. It's playing along to a record or tapping your steering wheel to the song on the radio that we've heard, a million times. It's a different thing when you're in the driver's seat, driving a band, any band, but a band like Aerosmith for sure. I was not prepared at all, and yet somehow I made it through and lived to tell about it.
I mean, look, they could have literally called anybody to hop on that stool, and you're the guy. So it says something.
Yeah. I mean, after that show, I think it was Joe Perry's commented on, something to the effect of, that was crazy, for me to say yes. And I'm like, I don't know who was crazier, me for doing it or you guys for letting me. Because it could have been epic disaster, and of course nowadays everybody in the audience is doing this, so I knew it would be on YouTube before I ever got to my hotel room that night. So, there's no escaping that kind of stuff anymore. So, which adds to the pressure. But yeah, it could have gone so bad in so many ways that I don't know what any of us were thinking. It's just kind of the nature of rock and roll. And look, Aerosmith likes it dangerous, man. That's one thing I've learned, is they are very much still a dangerous, live rock and roll band. They don't step back from the edge.
Yeah.
Living
on the edge. Cue Living on the Edge.
Unintended.
Playing all the Aerosmith songs, like Love in an Elevator, for example. I mean, you got those amazing tom fills and like just some of the best like drum fills ever. Like that one at the end that goes da 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 and Love in an Elevator. Like it's fucking iconic to me. Is the band? Do you have to modify your drum kit at all? Like, does the band say that you need to be able to have those, the toms that have that tone to go do 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 do? Like, are you as the artist?
They leave all that to me. They've been very gracious in that. Now, that being said, I learned the show on Joey's kit because of how the whole thing went down. I was just subbing. I'm just subbing for him.
Right.
Still am.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to, I didn't touch anything on his kit. It just felt disrespectful. I think I put a drum throne up there because I sit lower.
Oh.
So that's the only thing I changed on his kid. I didn't move anything. So I learned the show in front of everybody, basically, because we had no rehearsal and we didn't even do a sound check ever. Oh. And so I learned to play those songs at his kit, with, no double pedal, no, now
all the stuff that you would use.
Yeah. So when things progressed and I brought my drums in, this set up basically how Joey did. Now I move things along now that for me, but the basic setup, the parameters and the number of drums and all that stuff is basically the same. So that being said, I as I did the very first night with Aerosmith, my job was, as I saw it, was to get them through the show. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not there to make a personal statement or to shoehorn my ideas into their music. It was to facilitate, like I say, especially early on, I was just to facilitate getting the band through the show while Joey healed. And so, and then as I was there longer, because I learned by osmosis what Joey was playing live, what the songs were live, then I would, as time allowed, I would go back and listen to the studio versions and kind of learn some of that and some of what Joey's live. And then, and the band is still very encouraging for me to kind of make it my own. And into that, that part I can't help. It's like you could line up 100 different drummers to play, Walk This Way or Love in an Elevator. And we could all learn it exact. Mm-hmm. And every one of us is going to play it differently because we're human. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Yeah. So I even though I'm trying to, I do look at drum parts just as important as I do the vocal and the melody and the guitar part. To me, I'm a drummer. So that's like when those parts that Joey wrote and played are iconic. There are places where I will inject a little bit of me, but not at critical ones like Love in an Elevator or so many times where to me, it's like, well, that's the fill. That's the fill that should be there. That's the one that's there. As a fan, if I'm sitting in the audience, that's the one I want to hear.
Right.
So I do really try hard to do that on every song, and deliver it to the best of my ability for the band and for the audience.
And especially from like a production standpoint, I mean, like I'm sure some of those drum fills have like lights synced to them and everything. And it's like, if you play them wrong, the lights will be off and everything.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Are you guys like playing
Elevator for sure? Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, are you guys like playing to tracks and like a click and everything? You got like a lot of stuff going on in your ears through the show?
Well, that was new to the Vegas show. There was, because it was, the production was what it was and what it is. There's quite a few songs that are on time code for exactly that. Lasers, pyro, lights, they're all on a time code so that I'm playing to a click. So there's not tracks. We're not everything is 100% live. The vocals and the guitar, everybody's playing, and so the click is for time code that runs all the lasers and lights and pyro and video and all that stuff that's so critical. Timing is so critical on that. So, that's So I don't know what the proportion is. Not everything is on click or time code.
Nice. So there's still some elements of the liveness to the show, which is nice.
And hey, even on the click and the time code, it's 100% live. It's just,
yeah, which makes sense. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I've seen so much video of this tour. It looks amazing production wise. Like for a fan, like you're getting bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's gigantic. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So with this farewell tour, I know, geez, we're almost going in for an hour here. We'll wrap up soon. I've taken too much of your time, but you're being very gracious with giving this much time, honestly. Aerosmith, their farewell tour, Peace Out. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Going to be performing in Montreal, in my city. Hello, Montreal. January 26th. Make sure you're there alongside the Black Crowes. I was just going to say, so with the postponement of the last month, basically with Steven, I mean, so is this tour is going to go into next year? Is this going to be, like Kiss, and this is it's the never ending end of the road tour, or?
Well, for me, I hope so, because when I announced, the farewell tour, and I'm like, farewell, man, I just got here,
right?
So selfishly, as the guy honored to be, playing with them, I would love it to go much, much longer. And selfishly, as a fan, I don't want this band to go away, or much the same as I feel about all the classic bands that I grew up with. It's like there's a lot of farewell tours going on right now, and I do hope they go on forever. I hope they go as long as the Eagles farewell tour, which is in their 20th year or something. Because I'm like, what's coming up behind it? I mean, this is the music that I love and I grew up on, and
especially because there's such a new fan base, all the young guys. I mean, I'm 29, and my little brother's getting into Aerosmith and wants to go to the show, and he's 19, and it's kind of sad.
Now, fortunately, the music is always with us, but there's nothing like seeing it live, man. There's just nothing like it.
Yeah, I can't. So it's going to be a weird time in life when you can't say, oh man, I'm going to see Aerosmith tonight, or I'm going to see Van Halen tonight, I'm going to see Def Leppard. It's going to be weird to not be able to say that.
I know, that's a world I don't want to live in.
Literally.
But yeah,
so with those final dates that got postponed, I guess those are going to be the final dates, but is there plans to maybe go to Europe or South America? Is the tour going to be extended, or is this is it, this is the final curtain call?
I'm not. That's above my pay grade. I mean, I hope so. I mean, again, for my own selfish reasons, but also for the fans, because they have fans in every corner of the globe. And I'd like to think that they
have a whole freaking roller coaster named after them. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So I think I would hope so. I think I would hope. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's not unusual.
I love it. Well, look, make sure you catch Aerosmith on the road right now. Geez, if this is the farewell tour, you're going to have to go and check them out. Aerosmith.com. And of course, there's VIP packages where you can sit behind John's drum kit for only, $2,000 and take a picture.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, there's people right back there. That's weird. But man, hey, look, if I was a guy going to see Aerosmith or, any of the bands that that's the ticket for me, man. I would love to sit behind the drums and see all that. And there's a walkway in the thing behind me. So it's not just, you look at my back of my head, which some might argue is my best side, but no, Steven and Joe and the band, they all are back there at times too. So it's a cool
technically
show,
it's technically in the round, but not it's a cool setup.
Yeah. It's cool. Everybody, but surprisingly, those are great seats behind the stage, or
sonically
really
it
close
sounds,
to the band.
It sounds good.
I don't know. I'm sitting at the, I don't know. I'm sure it does.
Yeah. You know what? You're gonna have to go and sound check. Have the Pro Tools play back to last night's show and go sit in I want you to sit in every single seat.
Yeah, so I can. Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, John, geez, thank you so much for your time. This is fantastic. I got my Van Halen the drum key in front of me, which is kind of cool too. So.
Oh, nice.
I hadn't opened up that snare in a little bit, and I was just looking at it. I'm like, God, what a work of art. They're just it's fantastic.
What'd you do with the poster?
It's upstairs. I don't have. It's still in an envelope with the certificate of authenticity and everything.
Yeah,
like I don't want to like put it up and like I don't even want people to know I have it because it's like you know
Al's kid took that photo.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on
took that photo
on the Instagram. I think it was his Instagram because we followed each other on Instagram at one point, Malcolm and I, and yeah, just so cool. It was such a great package and the road case and everything. Do you think they'll do like another one at some point, like another Alex snare or?
We've talked about it, and it's a good question.
Maybe do like another wood one. I've been searching for the rosewood one forever because when that one came out, I was only like 13 or something like that. And I think it was. I think it was
punk.
Yeah, I know. I saw them. Yeah, November 11th, 2007. I think it was at Montreal's Bell Center, and it's the first time I ever saw Van Halen. And then the snare came out, but I was pumping gas at the gas station, like trying to save up to try and get the Wolfgang. There was no way I was gonna get the rosewood snare, and I've been searching for years to try and find one. And so if you know a guy, let me know.
I have one, but you're not having it. You can't.
I'm not getting that one.
No.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.